I've been talking to a lot of people recently, doing a lot of consultations, sucking out a lot of fat. And when I talk to my patients, I get a lot of consistencies. And what I find is that um, many women, when they are uncomfortable with themselves, they tend to hide from reality. And it's like, and it's maybe you're aware of your limitations, but instead of going out into the real world and exposing yourself to where those limitations would be more, say, obvious, most people will try to cover up their limitation and avoid situations that would expose that limitation. So this happens with not only being heavier, but it happens with every other aspect of your life, right? When you have some type of limitation or you have some type of restriction or something that might be considered you know something that you don't like, a trait that you like or that you don't like. Many people will hide that in order to uh, create a different thought process in other people's minds. So, for example, um, people act a certain way uh, in order, when they first meet you. And this is really obvious. I'll tell you what, when employees come to a job, they act a certain way because they want to get the job because it's important to them, right? So they act a certain way. They're polite. They're hardworking initially, and they try to do the things that they perceive to be the right way to do it. And now that's okay, right? However, what I've seen is over time, that hiding of who they really are who they really are tends to come out. And when you hide it for an extended period of times, you're inauthentic. And when you're inauthentic, people tend to feel like you're lying to them because it's something seems off, something doesn't seem real. So what I'm suggesting is that in order to live an authentic life, in order to stop lying to yourself and to other people, you have to stop hiding. You have to allow people to see you for who you are and be comfortable with it, whatever it is. Whatever it is. When you stop hiding, it's like a weight off your back. It just feels so much better. Okay? Now you might say, well, but I'm embarrassed. I don't want to show people this real me, this who I am. I don't want to show that because I'm embarrassed of it. And so that's where you need to make this decision that enough is enough. I'm tired of living this life where I'm embarrassed and I'm insecure and I don't want people to see me, and I'm hiding. Whether that's wearing bigger clothes, whether that's not going out to different functions, whether that's avoiding certain people because you don't want them to see you. Whatever it is, you're limiting your life to you're eliminating the things that you want to do, and you're staying in a small little safety zone where you feel comfortable. And it's what most people do. And it's something that will limit you from being a high achiever in life and achieving your best life, whatever that means to you. Because if you limit yourself in the activities that you do, the things that you see, the people that you're around, if you limit yourself, then inherently your potential is stifled, and it'll restrict what you can do, what you can experience. The highest highs that you can reach with your life, you're going to be limited, you're going to be restricted. And some people are like, they're okay with that. Like, oh, I don't care, I don't really need to do anything. Well, that's cool for some people, right? But at some point you realize, I'm 45 years old, and I want to, there's a lot that I haven't done yet. There's a lot that I haven't seen yet. There's a lot of things that I feel like I need to live my life. I need to get out there. I need to be more active. And I don't know how much longer I'm going to have left on this planet. None of us do. I mean, tomorrow could be the last day, and that's it. You missed out on everything you didn't do. So my mindset is I need to start doing more of the things that I want to do and less of the things that I don't want to do. And if I can do more of that, then I'll feel better. I'll be happy with myself. And when I start doing the things that I enjoy, because it's really the things that I don't enjoy in my life that bring me down. But what I found is when you are unhappy with the body that you're in, it may restrict you today because you don't want to, you don't want to go to the pool. But and in your mind, you're like, oh, it's no big deal. I didn't really want to go to the pool anyways. But the truth is that when you multiply that moment times 10 years, times 20 years, how many moments in your life did you miss out on? And when you start thinking about these things and you start multiplying, it's going to blow your mind. And you're going to realize that you're missing out on so much of your life. Especially if I'm a math guy. So when you calculate this into a percentage, and when you realize that 25% of your life, 30% of your life, maybe even more, is wasted, is just down the drain because you decided, you know what, I'm embarrassed and I don't want to do this. So because of that 25% of my life, I'm going to give away. So some people might say, my patients, what they tell me is enough is enough. I'm sick and tired of this crap and being this person that's embarrassed and scared and feeling like crap. I'm tired of that. And when you're tired of it, it's time to change. And I can tell you that a lot of people think that change takes so long and it's so, I don't want to work that hard and I think it's going to take so much effort, but that's not the case. That's not the case. Because here's the truth. It's painful to do nothing. It hurts to do nothing. So you got to start choosing your pain. It's not easy to work out, but it's also not easy to not work out. Why is it not easy to not work out? Because if you don't work out, you start losing your muscle mass. You start losing your strength. You start losing your ability to do everything because you lose the muscle. These are choices that we all make on a daily basis, right? We choose not to be active. And then we are thinking, oh, it's because I was tired. I'm relaxing. I'm sitting on the beach. I'm drinking margaritas. That's good, right? Well, what happens when you relax so much is that your muscles start to deteriorate. And then when your muscles deteriorate, you end up getting more pain. You end up getting more injuries. And then that may affect you. That may limit you. At some point in your life, you might decide, you know what, this is not the way for me. I was not supposed to be this big. I was not supposed to be limited this way. I was supposed to go out there and live my life. I was supposed to go out there and meet people. I was supposed to go out there and change the lives of others. And if you believe that, then you need to start taking action now. You need to start the action today. Because who knows how much longer you're going to have. And especially if you're going on the downhill slide where you're gaining weight, your health is going downhill, it's just a matter of time till the bomb explodes, right? It's like we're creating these problems that it's just a matter of time until they affect us, right? So let's say you're a cigarette smoker. When you're young, man, 20 years old, you can smoke 4 packs a day and it's no problem. You'll be able to survive, right? And it doesn't catch up to you until it does. And when it catches up to you, you're going to wish that you didn't do the things that you did in the past. So what I'm suggesting is let's have a little foresight. Let's have a little intelligence. That's what makes humans so successful, is we can have that foresight into the future and see what's going to happen if we continue down this negative path. So let's do a little exercise. If you smoke cigarettes 3 packs a day and you do that for 1 year, in all likelihood, you're going to have very little effects. You could probably do it, no problem. Okay. However, let's multiply that times 5 years. Let's multiply it times 10 years. What does your life start to look like? And this is just an exercise. You can, and I'm doing it with cigarettes because a lot of people understand the consequences of cigarettes. We all know this stuff, right? You've seen people that have smoked for 30 years, so you know that's what happens after you smoke for 30 years. You look like that, you sound like that, you smell like that, you taste like that, like everybody knows. Or maybe you don't. But the knowledge is actually right in front of us. Because if you want to see what happens to a person who eats poorly for 3 decades, they're all over the place. You want to see what happens when someone doesn't exercise for 3 decades, they're all over the place. Just look around. It's literally, the information is right in front of you, and you're still wondering, well, how much do I need to exercise? How much do I need to eat? Or how much? Man, you just need to start. You just need to get off your butt and start moving. Because as soon as you realize that the not moving, the the eating poor foods, the not drinking water, the not getting good, sleep every night, that's causing these things. Because once you can put two and two together, and you can make these realizations, solving the problems, it happens a lot faster. But if you still think that it's okay to eat that crappy food, I'm a foodie, I like that. If you still believe that stuff, then you probably won't want to come here. You probably won't want to get your fat sucked out of you because you want to stay fat. And if you want to stay fat, then you'll keep doing the things that got you there. But as soon as you decide, I'm tired of that crap, no more, you got to start doing the things that you act as if you're leaner. You act as if you're that person that you're supposed to be. After you get this procedure, you get the fat sucked out of you, and you look like this, it's amazing, first of all. But after you look like this, if you keep acting like you're the before person, this person that's got that big belly hanging over, you keep acting that way, it's only a matter of time, and it'll become real for you. Again, you've already seen how it happens. It happens over time. It's a slow process. But if you continue to eat and continue to do the same things that you were doing previously, which led to the problems, it's inevitable. You will do it again. It's just a matter of time. So you need to change your mindset, change your mentality, and solve the problems in your life. And only you can do it. Only you. Because the truth is nobody cares. If you die 20 years early, nobody cares. I mean, they care, but not really. It's not them. Right? Your family is going to be so upset, and they're going to cry, and they're going to be angry, but they're going to be still alive. And it sounds harsh. It does. I know it. And I'm not trying to be mean, but this is the real. This is the truth. And if you don't hear me now, then you'll go about your life and, do the same things that you're doing until sometimes you'll remember what I'm saying. That it's the actions that you take today that lead to the outcomes of tomorrow. So if you change the actions of today, you can change and influence the outcomes of tomorrow. We can't predict the future, but we can influence it. It's not that difficult to influence yourself. It's a lot more difficult to influence other people. Right? For me to influence you to get off your butt and go exercise and eat right and drink plenty of water and get the perfect amount of sleep every night, it's not that easy. Not for me to influence you. I know it because I know the effects. I know what it has done for me already. I already know this stuff. And that's why it's easy for me. It's not hard at all. Right? We all have to go to bed at some point, so you just go to bed earlier at the right time, and then you get this proper amount of sleep. You all have to drink water. All of us do. You just have to drink the proper amount. It's not that hard. It's definitely not difficult. Do you remember? Do you remember to go to bed on time? Do you remember to drink that water? Do you remember to make the right decision about what you're going to eat at the right moment? Can you do that at the right moment? It's not that hard. Right? We all know this. It's not that hard. But just as easy as it is to do, it's just as easy to not do. That's the problem. That's where most people fall short, because you don't see the long-term benefits, or downfalls. Because you don't see it in a short period of time, it's easy to believe that not doing will not make a big difference. The problem becomes when you string a bunch of not doings together. That's when it leads to the problems. But oppositely, if you can string a bunch of doings every day, you do what you're supposed to do. You string enough of those together, all of a sudden it's like everything amplifies, and the greatness, the goodness, the amazingness about you it emerges, and you become what you're supposed to be. All you have to do is do the right things. That's it. And some of you might be like, yeah, but I've been eating right, and I've been walking, and I feel like I'm doing all the right things, but I'm not getting the results that I want. Why not? And I think it would be easy for you to start to believe that, there's something different about you. But the truth is, here's the truth. There's a couple of reasons why. and this is my experience with people, is that when you do the wrong thing for long enough, you build up a lot of toxic material in your body, and that toxic material, the toxins, is what ages us and deteriorates us. Think about this: if you had metal, iron, and you kept it nice and clean every day, you washed it beautiful, it stays nice and clean for decades, perhaps. However, you leave that metal outside, that steel outside, and it gets into the rain and the cold and the wind, and it deteriorates. It oxidizes, is what we call it, actually. It oxidizes. And this happens at a chemical level. Well, the same thing happens to our body. Our body oxidizes. On the metal, it oxidizes and turns to rust, and that rust can be shaved off, and it falls, it's deterioration, right? Our bodies do the same thing, and in fact, they call it the same word, oxidation. It's the same thing. And so there's ways, through eating properly, drinking the right food, supplementation, um, various physical activities, that will slow down the aging process. And in fact, this is amazing. You got to be listening right now. In fact, the number one thing that has been shown over the years that increases lifespan. You want to live longer? The number one thing that increases lifespan is calorie restriction. Calorie restriction. In fact, they were able to get mice to live for 70% longer. Listen to the words, 70% longer, by reducing the calorie intake by 30%. They had fewer diseases and they lived longer. 70% longer. So what does that mean for a human? I don't know. You think you're going to live, let's use round numbers, right? We think, living to 100 years old is great, but what if you could live 70% longer? 70% longer than 100 years is 70 years longer. It's a huge, significant difference. This is already proven. Just calorie restriction. So 30% calorie restriction, what does that mean? That means eliminating one meal a day. One meal. Can you do it? Of course you can. And you know what then happens when you eliminate one meal a day? You start getting smaller. Automatically. It just happens. Okay? Now some people might say, well, yeah, I'm already eating, very, very few calories, but I'm still fat. And I still can't lose weight. What's the deal with that? Well, after building up all these toxins in your body from eating poorly and being exposed to environmental toxins, those toxins, many of them can't be excreted from our body, so our body just holds on to them. And when it does that, it holds on to them within our organs, and our organs essentially get like sludge. So if you can imagine, normally we have, blood flowing through this stuff, which is, thin, and it's like water, right? It flows. However, when you start getting these toxic materials, it's almost like having dirt within the blood, and it kind of gets like a sludgy, and then it sticks to the sides, kind of like in plumbing, where you if you're pouring oils and stuff down the drain, it's going to stick to the sides, and eventually years longer, it'll start to get clogged up as the hairs get stuck to it and things like that. Well, that's almost exactly what happens in our blood vessels, in our organs, the organs that are meant to detoxify our body naturally. When they get clogged up, they don't work anymore. And this happens. You can see this analogy I'll use, like our pool cleaner, right? So our pool sucks the water out, and the water goes through this pool filter, that big thing that you have in your backyard. It goes through the filter, which filters out the dirt, and then pushes it back into the pool as clean water. Well, our body does exactly this. It's exactly the same thing. Okay, how do you think we think of these things, right? We thought of all these different things that we see on the external now by how our body works. And so our body does the same thing. Blood goes into like the liver, for example, and it detoxifies our blood, and then the blood goes and keeps on going. And the toxins get taken from the liver and they get excreted into the bowels, and we defecate it out. Same thing happens with the kidneys. We got kidneys that filter out the blood and take out toxins, and then we pee that out. The same type of thing happens in our bowels as well. All this is amazing. We have like this spacesuit, right? We have this amazing spacesuit that does all these incredible things. We can eat food. How come I can eat food like a banana, and my system turns a banana into me? Your system turns it into you. It's really bizarre and amazing when you think about it like that. But those toxins, they clog things up. So some of those individuals that they're eating, perhaps fewer calories already, they're already exercising, but they're not getting the results. It's typically all those toxic material that clogs up the organs, and the organs don't function properly. So even though you're eating the right way, even though you're drinking plenty of water, even though you're getting sleep, nothing works anymore. And so what do? Doctors will be like, oh, well, just give me drugs and this and that, and don't do that. Don't fall for the trap. What you do to detoxify the toxins? There's a first thing is you got to start eliminating and reducing where you are being exposed to toxins. And so where might that be? That might be lotions, it might be shampoos, it might be makeup, it might be your toothpaste, your deodorant. We're also exposed to many toxins through food. There's lots of toxic foods, from pesticides and things of that nature. Our water can be toxic. Our air can be toxic. If you work at a location where they use chemicals, there could be chemicals in the air that could be toxic. All these things, our body will naturally flush them out, most of them. But sometimes it needs help. And especially if we have a toxic buildup in our body, then it definitely is going to need help. The recommendations are to do detoxing type activity a couple times a year. So it needs to be done regularly. You need to be consistently trying to detoxify the body while rebuilding, right? So we get the bad stuff out and bring in good stuff to rebuild. And coincidentally, our body completely rebuilds every single cell in the body. It takes about 7 years. That's for including bones. Okay, 7 years. However, a lot of the soft tissue stuff, it happens a lot quicker. 3 months is typically a lot of the soft tissue stuff. Our skin is days, right? Our skin is days. The organs will take it takes about 3 months. Completely renew everything. So if that's true, which scientists claim it is, if that's true though, then theoretically, if we rebuild with new building blocks and we do it for 90 days, we can have a whole new body. 90 days changes everything. Now, I've done this personally. I've renewed my entire body, and I'm constantly detoxifying now, and I've gotten to where I am, this base level. Everything's good, and it's not that hard now. At this point, my life is easy. I eat. I have a specific diet, my timing. I'm drinking plenty of water. I'm going to sleep properly. All these things are. It's a baseline. It's easy. Life is easy once you get to that level, but it's difficult to get there because you've caused all the problems in the past, and now you have to overcome those problems. So it takes a little bit of effort, but it's okay. You're creating a new lifestyle. It doesn't have to happen overnight, but it can happen quickly for you if you want. And if you do the actions to make it quicker, it happens quicker. If you take your sweet ass time, it takes a lot longer. But that's okay too. Everybody's on their own path, everybody's on their own journey. Now liposuction is like kicks you into hyperdrive. See how we can get these results, get a significant amount of fat off somebody? Well, what that does is it like if you would have thought that this would have taken 5 years to achieve something like this on your own, we did it in a couple hours. So it speeds up the timeline. And now she jumped ahead 5 years in her potential, right? And now she can pick up right there. And it's like, I got her running, and she's got to just hit the ground and keep going. And some people do that. And some people, man, the results are amazing. And if you can pick up the pace after you get the fat sucked out of you and start changing your life and doing the things that are going to lead to a healthy life, it's just a matter of time. And you will begin to appreciate the greatness within you. And it's already there. Blanquita, She has had multiple procedures, but she changed everything. She changed her lifestyle, she changed her mindset, and to do that, what she found, and what I know is true, is that when you help others to do the same thing, it helps you. And how do I know that? Because I've been helping you. And it helps me because it keeps me accountable. Every day when I'm making these tough decisions, what to eat, what to do, it would be easy to slide back. But I know that if I started sliding back and I started getting big, gaining weight, and doing, and not looking healthy as I am now, you would see me as inauthentic because I'm telling you to do all these things, but if I don't do them, then why should you do them? So it would be inauthentic. So I believe it's very important you hold me accountable. And same thing when like Blanquita, when she starts helping someone else, they hold her accountable. It's a force of nature, just a little force of nature to kind of push you over the edge, and it works amazingly well. When you start getting these results, life gets exciting. And then when you start inspiring and motivating people around you, they hold you accountable and they rise with you. That's where it becomes super fun. All your friends and family start getting healthier. And it might take a while. I've been doing this for about 7 years now, and I'm just now starting to have a serious influence on some of my friends. Just this weekend, one of my buddies calls me up and he's like, "Hey, I've seen what you've been doing and I need to change." And he doesn't want liposuction, but I'm helping him change his life. And it's like they say in Buddhism, when the student is ready, the master will be there. So when you're ready to change your life, the information's there. It will always appear. When you want it, it's there. But when you're not ready and you want to still live this life of, eating whatever you want and doing the things that you know are unhealthy for you, but you feel like you got to do it, and that's cool. You should do all the things, and it's like they said before I got married, he said you should go sow your wild oats, do all the wild things that you want to do, get it out of your system, so when you get married, you don't have to do that stuff anymore. So in the same concept with this, you've gone and did all the things that you thought you wanted to do, ate all the good foods and the desserts, and did all the things that you wanted to get it out of your system. Get it out of your system, just do it. So then you can say to yourself, I've already done that, I'm not missing out. And once you truly believe that you're not missing out, it's easy to do this stuff. Because the food that I eat is good, I like it. It's tasty. I don't feel like I'm missing out on life. I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything by not eating that garbage anymore. I don't feel that way. I feel like I have tons of energy. I feel like I'm flexible. I feel like life is good. I feel happy. And those are good things to feel. And I didn't feel that way when I was heavier. I didn't feel that way when I felt restricted. And what happens is that bleeds over into every aspect of your life. When you feel better about yourself, man, work is better, your relationships are better, your marriage is better, your kids are better, you influence everybody. When you're smiling and you're happy, you influence everyone around you. And similarly, when you're unhappy and depressed, you influence everybody around you as well in a negative way. So you need to choose, do you want to be that positive influence in life or the negative influence in life? Got Stacy and Sierra here from My Shape answering some questions. Let me go back. I see if we had some questions here. I'll see if I can answer this. Keonce Green says, "Thank you, Trevor. I'm loving my results. Pics coming soon. Good to hear." Okay. Lucero White, what do you think about paniculectomy versus tummy tuck? Not a single one of these patients behind me have got neither one of those, Lucero. So I'm here to tell you that, if you want to do a tummy tuck, if you feel like that stuff's necessary, that cutting away the skin is necessary, then you'll do it because you believe that that's the right thing. But I'm here to just say that there's an alternative option. and none of the patients behind me have gotten the skin cut away. However, you can see it retracts back significantly, and it's amazing. Now, it's not perfect. And if you look closely, some of these girls have, loose skin because they had stretch marks and stuff before. But their bellies are tiny, they're fat. And they don't have a big scar that you would get from a tummy tuck or peniculectomy. They don't have that. So it's a choice. It's, you want to try this, or do you want to just go cut the stuff away? But the interesting thing is, if when they do a tummy tuck, they typically don't do enough liposuction. So what I end up seeing is that people go get a tummy tuck, and then they're unhappy, and then they come and get a liposuction. Okay? Why don't you just do it the opposite? Get the liposuction first. Maybe you're happy then. Maybe you don't need anything else. Maybe we just saved you a bunch of money and a big scar. However, afterwards, if you still feel that you need to get a tummy tuck, you need to have all that skin cut away, or whatever skin you have left cut away, you need that. If that's what you feel you need, then you'll be guided towards that, and you'll want to do that, because you won't be happy with the situation where you are. But everyone's different. But my suggestion, I really hope that I can save those of you who are considering a tummy tuck. I hope that I can save you, because there's all kinds of problems with tummy tuck. It's not good for you. It leaves a huge scar. Recovery is very difficult, and they have to do general anesthesia. And in most cases, girls are like, "Whoa, but I have those stretch marks." In most cases, the stretch marks go up beyond where they are even going to cut, so you're going to have stretch marks still. And then when they cut the skin away, your belly button doesn't look right, because they have to pull the skin down, so they cut a new hole for your belly button. Now you have this huge scar across the bottom and a weird looking belly button. And again, some people, that's cool. Not for me. And maybe not for you, but maybe it is. I don't know. It's up to you. All right. Heidi says, "I wish I could do something like this, but can't afford it." Well, Heidi, I have heard that probably 1,000 times over the years. And the people that actually want this, they work their ass off for it. And they figure it out. And again, just like those little changes in habits, it takes time for things to change. All you have to do is start saving something. You start now, and it might take you 5 years. I don't know. Maybe you can do it in 3. Maybe you can do it in 2, whatever it is. But you do whatever, is important to you. And then, the truth is maybe you just switch your lifestyle habits and start losing the weight. Because the truth is either way, you do liposuction, you should be changing your lifestyle habits. So do that now. And then maybe you'll find that you don't need liposuction, or maybe you need less. But the things that you can do now are change your life. Sorry, Lisa, I was behind on answering your questions. She's like, "Is he not answering questions?" Okay. Susie and Sierra here, they're answering some questions, and they'll follow up as well. So if I missed any of the questions, they'll try to answer them. So I apologize. I start talking, right? I start talking too much. The really weird thing about this is I'm just sitting here talking to a camera, and I have to remind myself that a bunch of people are actually listening and actually have questions. So I'm sorry if I missed you. Okay, Miss Guri Lovely says, "Infection risk is higher. My neighbor almost didn't make it because of a bacterial infection for a tummy tuck." Yeah. I don't know that infection, I don't know the rates, honestly. I don't know what it is. But when you have a big cut across there, you got a big potential for infection. And with the tummy tuck, it's really a big problem if the wound doesn't heal. So let's say you get an infection in that huge incision all the way across your way, an infection, and one part doesn't heal, or the wound, they call it dehisce, where it opens up. Things can get really bad really quickly with the tummy tuck. And so I'm really sorry to hear about your neighbor, but it's really unfortunate, but those stories are not uncommon. And people that have bad results with tummy tuck are not uncommon. So you need to make decisions the right way. And unfortunately, you go to a doctor because you think that they're going to be giving you their unbiased opinion and something that's in your best interest. But the truth is something different, and I'm sure you know that. Um, as with any business, we're selling something, right? I'm selling liposuction, so I'm not selling tummy tuck. So I'm telling you, you shouldn't get a tummy tuck. Is a tummy tuck wrong or bad? No, it's not. There's nothing wrong or bad about it, unless you decide that there's something wrong or bad about it. There's people that are probably so happy with their results and amazing. That's great. I don't do that. And then similarly, when you go to these plastic surgeons, they don't do what I do. This is not a possibility for them. They don't know how to do this. The liposuction is not the same. They don't, like, you can go look at 1,000 sites that do liposuction. They don't get these kind of results. So you have to realize who you're speaking to. And if you're speaking to someone who has the potential to do this stuff, they're going to offer it to you. If you're speaking to someone who has the potential or the ability to do tummy tucks, they are going to offer that to you. And they're going to tell you why it's the right thing, why it's the best thing for you. And you, as the intelligent individual, needs to have the rationale to realize that maybe this is one option, maybe there's another option. And you have to weigh your options. One is better than others. Okay? And you make a decision. Now, when you make a decision, things can happen very quickly. But you have to make the decision. So take the time, do the research, talk to the people. If you haven't been to our private Facebook group, the private Facebook group is an amazing opportunity for you to communicate directly with individuals who have had the procedure done already. And they've had the procedure and they've had good things, bad things, ugly things. They've been through the process, so they can tell you all of it. And they might say, hey, this part sucks, this part's not that bad. And the weird thing is that the experience is all across the board. You're going to have people that tolerated things really well, and you're going to have people that didn't tolerate things very well. You're going to have people that got amazing, incredible, life-changing results, and you're going to have people that didn't get amazing, life-changing results. We do the same thing. Each individual has a slightly different potential, and your potential is going to be based off of your body, all the things that you've done in the past, the food that you've eaten, how many kids you've had, how old you are. These are all things that impact. But with that said, don't try to extrapolate all the potential negatives. So just because you have some stretch marks, don't believe that there's no way, because that's not true either. And you'll find people like Gilbert here, she had terrible stretch marks and loose skin. I mean, it was really, really bad. But you can see afterwards, she still has the stretch marks, but her belly's small. And she's confident. And she feels good about herself. So it's possible. Even though you may not have the best situation. And in fact, I deal with a lot of people that don't have the right situation. And it still turns out good. But your expectations have to be in line with what is possible for you. So like Gilbert wasn't expecting that her stretch marks were going to disappear. So when they didn't disappear, she's not unhappy because she was expecting that. Now, I hope to over deliver. So with your expectations, some of you might be coming in with these big hanging bellies, like Gilbert, where it's hanging down and you're like, well, it's so big. There's no way that he's going to get rid of that. And when I'm able to do far exceed your expectations and expand your mind at what is possible, to me, that's fulfilling. Because when I can blow your mind gets all over other people. And you tell people talk about the amazing, talk about the incredible. So if we get you little results, you're not going to talk about it. That's not amazing. That's not incredible. But you get results like this, where you went from being an obese person to all of a sudden having a flat stomach. That's incredible. That doesn't happen every day. That's what gets talked about. So when I blow your mind, it's like the brain gets all over the place. And you get to tell all your friends, all your family, because if you don't tell them, they're going to notice anyways. Then you're going to have to tell them. And that's how we get business, right? I don't get business by, I do market and advertise, but it's the individuals that it's the word spread word of mouth. When you tell three of your family members from one person, I got three others. It's like multiplication. I know how this stuff works. That's why I'm telling you it's so important for you to, if you appreciate this stuff and you feel like you were given a gift by taking away this belly. If you feel like you were given a gift, then you need to share that gift with other people. Because if we could do it for you, we can do it for someone else. Okay, I can't wait for mine. I already had mine over the phone consultation, but I had an emergency. That sucks. Well, I hope everything's okay. I really do. And hopefully we can get you back here soon. Okay, Vegan 19. I am self-conscious of having a fupa. I have lost 30 pounds. I am losing weight every day. I hate my fupa. Mexi, it's super easy. This is what I do. If you don't like it, it can be gone. Just like the chin. Women have like a fullness in your chin where your chin goes in your neck and you lose this jawline. It's so easy to fix this stuff. You don't have to look fat anymore. You can have this oval shape. You notice how she went from a round shape to oval, right? It's elongated. And how do we do that? Look, we're gonna go above the jawline. So we go up here, get this stuff up here, and that makes the face oval. Then we get the stuff below the jawline here, and that makes all the double chin go away. And so all of a sudden we unveil this chin, this line, this jawline. You can see this, and it's like incredible, and it happens so quickly. And if you have this fullness, this turkey neck, there's no reason that you have to continue living with that, because we can fix that on everybody. Yeah, so we did I did a treatment on my face today. We have a radio frequency based technology called Venus Legacy. So I did a treatment today, and one of our amazing employees, Sierra, she was practicing on me and did a phenomenal job. So if you think my skin looks amazing, there's a reason for that. And it's not, look, I'm here to kind of share with you that I try a lot of different things. And I'm like a trial and error type person. I don't believe anything. I don't believe anything that I hear. I don't really listen to other people. If someone says something might be good, I'm just gonna go test it. And if it doesn't work out, then I'll throw it aside. But in doing so, this trial and error mindset, this mentality that I've had, I've come across some really amazing things that work well. So Venus Legacy is just one of the things, and what it does is it's a radio frequency based technology that it's like it kind of like works like shrink wrap, in which it'll like with the heat it tightens the skin, and then the heat has been shown that it stimulates collagen growth, and the collagen is what gives our skin the thickness and the tightness. So it'll continue to thicken and tighten the skin as you form more collagen. Now the laser for liposuction, it's a similar idea, in that it stimulates more collagen and gets you thicker or tighter skin. So when we remove that larger volume of fat, we can get the skin to tighten up, and that's how we get everything to tighten up and things, the fold to go away, as we use a laser technology. It's pretty cool. Mexi, yes, you can do the FUPA area only. We can work that out for you. It's not one of our packages that we offer on the quick quote. But when you call the office, or actually when you do your formal consultation with me, is when I'll review the situation and we can come up with an alternate plan for you. But yeah, that FUPA, nobody likes that. Interestingly enough, I have included the FUPA in the treatment of the front of the abdomen. So, because what I found with a lot of women, larger women, the fullness goes into the pubic area. And in the past, when I charged separately for the front of the abdomen and the FUPA area, when I charged separately, there were some people that because of cost, because of money, they shortchanged themselves. And they chose not to treat that area, and they were disappointed. Unfortunately, we had quite a few people that came back to treat that area, and it was just disappointing. And so I decided I want to take the decision making process away so you don't make stupid decisions. And that might sound mean, but I don't mean it that way. I mean it that I don't want you to have to make a decision that could be at your detriment. And so I'm just going to include it, just like we're going to include the smart lipo with the front of the abdomen because I think everybody needs it. When we take the fat out, we need to tighten the skin. So you need it. And just like when we treat the front of the abdomen, I don't want to stop and leave you a big pouch at the fupa. So you have like this package, like, girls hate that. I know they hate it. They tell me they hate it. And they come back and they'll spend whatever amount of money it is that they need to get rid of it because they hate it. So let's just take care of it from the beginning and the problem will disappear. And when the problem disappears, you'll be amazed at what your life is like. You'll be amazed at what is possible for you. When you have that fupa mexi, how have you been hiding? You cover it up. You wear baggy clothes to cover it up, or do you wear tighter compression suits to cover it up? What do? Because I know everybody hides it. All the girls hide it. The ones that have that problem, they're hiding. And then when they tell people, oh, I'm gonna go get this taken care of, people are like, what are you talking about? You don't need it. And all you can do is laugh because you've been hiding for so long that nobody has any idea what your real problem is. They don't. If you're not walking around with your shirt off, but instead this big drapey shirt, people don't see what it's like underneath. They might be able to imagine based off of the curves and stuff. They might be able to imagine, but they don't really know. And that's because, like most people, like all of us, if you have something you don't like, you hide it. I'm the same way, right? There's things that I don't like, so I hide it. That's why we all wear clothes, right? Let's see, Sierra, she shared a link on the Venus Legacy. Thank you, Sierra. So when you guys are ready, you've been watching this, and if you're interested in liposuction, the first thing you got to do is just go to our website, myshapelipo.com. Right on the front of the page there's a quick quote. If you're on Facebook up here, there's also a link to the quick quote system, and it's really easy. You're going to click on the link, enter some basic information, answer a few questions, and it'll give you a accurate quote for you that's based off of your dimensions, your height and weight, which tells us essentially like a volume of fat that we're going to remove, which allowed me to create a pricing model and a safety model protocol that gives you accurate quotes, easy, just like that. You don't have to send any pictures, you don't have to talk to anybody, you get an accurate quote right now. I mean, you can get it right now while I'm talking. And then when you're serious, you're ready to move forward, the next step is getting the formal consultation. That's where you're going to speak to me directly. You're going to send pictures. We're going to evaluate your whole situation, go over your medical history, make sure that you're a good candidate, make sure that your mindset is right, because I don't really want to deal with people that don't have the right mindset. If you're not ready to change your life, then it's not going to do a big difference for you. I might be able to get you skinny today, but you'll come back in like a year or two, wanting to treat the same area. I don't want to do that. You should never have to treat the same area again, in my opinion. Never have to treat the same area again, because we do the right job the first time. Now, if you do your job and you change your lifestyle and you start eating properly, then we should never have to do the procedure again. On that area, at least. But that's if the mindset is right. So it's important to me that I want to make sure that your mindset is right, that you're ready to change your lifestyle, that you're ready to do the things that are necessary, because if you're not ready to do the things that are necessary to get your best results, then you're going to make me look bad. I don't like looking bad. I'm going to cover that up, right? No, but seriously though, if I don't want you to look bad, right, we don't show people that got poor results. Why would any business do that, right? So we try to put our best foot forward, but at the same time, I'm going to show you a wide range of possibilities and potentials of these individuals. Some of these results are, unbelievable, amazing. Some of them are, just okay. Some of them, there may be some left to the liking. Like, maybe there was looser skin, or maybe they had irregularities or sorts. But you got to realize that this is not perfection here. And the results are multifactorial. So when I remove the fat, my job is to get the same thickness all throughout the area. And if it's the same thickness all throughout the area, then theoretically it'll be smooth and even, right? That's the thought. However, what I found is the final results are more than just me getting it even, is the patient has to do the right recovery stuff. So wearing the proper garments. The garments themselves can cause irregularity. So if you allow the garment to cause an irregularity and you leave it that way for long enough, it becomes permanent. And that's something that I don't control and I don't do. You know, the patient has to take responsibility for themselves and their garment and their recovery process. And if they don't take responsibility and they start blaming others, then they typically don't get the best results. Because if you don't follow the directions and you're unable to follow the directions, just like everything else in life, you're not going to get the same consistent results that others get if you're not following the same directions. All right, good weekend coming up. I hope you guys have prepared for this weekend. It's going to be a hot one here in Vegas. I don't know what it's like about you, but I know our friends in Arizona were showing it's going to be like 120, 115 this weekend. I've heard in Texas it's going to be a heat wave, so I hope you're able to stay cool, stay in the air conditioning. When you're ready to change your life, then you got to start taking action. You know, one of the things I noticed, I have longer hair now, and I typically will shave my head in the summer because having too much hair is hot for me, and so I like to cut it short. But now I have a little bit longer, and I'm trying to imagine. You know, I also don't carry the weight, and so I have a problem with getting cold. But I can imagine that if you had a thicker layer, it's like just like the layer that, you know, a seal or a, you know, killer whales, you know, someone's in the cold waters, that thick layer of blubber, it works almost like a wetsuit, and it holds in the heat. So when you get super lean, it's hard for me to hold in the heat, so I end up getting cold very easily. Now, I can imagine having a thick layer insulating me, and I would always be hot. And especially when you live in a place like Vegas, like that sucks. And so again, it's a limitation. Right now, I can go out in the heat, honestly, 115, and it's not a problem for me. I can tolerate it. But I can imagine if I had like a jacket on and pants and I was like sweating, dripping, like that would suck. And so to me, that's like the analogy of having a thick layer, having this layer of fat, because it's insulating. It's withholding the heat within you. So it's difficult for that heat to get out, which is challenging. So when you're ready to change, I mean, this is just one more reason to change. But as you get larger, you start getting health issues, and the health issues might be diabetes, they might be high blood pressure, it might be heart disease, PCOS. We've had a lot of patients who have these issues that liposuction actually solves. Not 100%, but amazingly, it influences and impacts your body in ways that science doesn't know yet. Nobody's doing the studies because like, people do studies when there's money involved. When someone believes they can make money by doing a study, that's when they do it. And for that reason, I don't think anybody's been doing studies on liposuction. The insurance companies surely don't want to find out that, or they don't want to have proof that liposuction is going to benefit you health-wise. Because if it benefited you health-wise, the insurance companies might have to pay for it. So they don't do that. This young lady here, 4 months out, she told me she had PCOS and high blood pressure, and she said she was able to reduce her blood pressure medication to a quarter of what it was previously, and now the blood pressure is better controlled. And she also had has PCOS, and said that her period was irregular, and she was only getting about once or twice a year randomly. And after the procedure, she started getting her period every month consistently. And I don't get my periods. I don't know how big of a deal this is, but I can imagine that the hormones circulating through your body, to have them firing properly uh, would make a huge impact on your life. The consistency would have a huge impact on your life. I can't promise you that liposuction will lower your blood pressure or make it so your diabetes goes away or make it so your PCOS changes. I've even had patients that had multiple sclerosis and things improve. I don't know how the heck that works. Or fibromyalgia, and they say it improves their symptoms. I don't know how this stuff works. There's no studies on it, but it does. And I've done thousands of these procedures, and I've seen this over and over and over. So when you have some of these health issues, in many cases, it's the fat that's causing it. Many cases. Stress on your joints, it's the extra weight. You lower the weight, the stress almost disappears significantly. What do you want to do with your life? Do you want to live a better life? Do you want to live your best life, or do you want to be limited? It's a choice that you have to make. And some people will make this choice and be like, I don't care. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. And that's cool. That's cool. And if you don't mind having a shorter life or being restricted for the last, few decades of your life, not being able to walk or not being able to do things, if you don't mind that stuff, then by all means, keep doing what you're doing. But when you're ready, when you realize like, that's bullshit, I am not going to live that way. When you realize that, it's like no hold barred. I'm doing everything that I can in order to not be this person anymore. And that means spending the money, doing the exercise, showing up for whatever you have to show up, drinking the water. I mean, this person here has been such a positive influence on all of our community. Stacy's in our private Facebook group, and she's like every day she's positive. She's bringing something positive to us. She's showing us how she's working out. She's showing us how she's eating properly. She's showing us how she's drinking water, and she's been doing it for years now. And it's been a positive influence on everybody, including myself. I mean, there's days when I'm like, I don't want to do this stuff. I'm tired of doing my routines because I've added on a lot of things to my routines. But you know what? When I see other people are doing the same thing, I'm like, I can do it. If they can do it, I can do it. And that's really what you need to see. And I hope that I can live in as an example for you and all my friends and family, my kids, right? I hope that I can be a positive example because, in some ways I know like my kids, they're probably not going to listen to me. At least that's what it seems like at this point, right? Maybe later in life they'll be like, yeah, I actually listen to you. But for now, I know they see what I do, and I know they see how I act, and so I think that will have a subconscious level influence on them. I'm hoping, and it seems that way because our kids seem to eat healthy. They're just doing what we do, right? They eat what we eat, and they may not know any better, so they're just doing it because that's normal to them. And I hope that normal just continues with life. And I believe it was because I influenced them. I don't know if it's true or not, but I believe it. And so therefore, since I believe it, I'm going to keep working hard for them. I'm doing it for me, but I'm doing it for them too. And I'm doing it for you. I'm working hard. And if I can influence you to do the same thing and help other people, it's like the ripple effect. I know when my patients get these big dramatic changes, and then when they start, it's fun for me to see, first of all, but it's super rewarding when I see that they start to help other people and that they start impacting their friends and family around them. That's, to me, what's rewarding because that can multiply my impact. So let's say I helped 100 people with liposuction and got them smaller, and then those 100 people went out and they influenced 3 people around in their family members or friends, and they influenced 3 of them. All of a sudden, that 100 people turned into 300 people. And then let's say it ripples out a little bit further. I mean, it could be thousands, millions of people that are influenced. And this could be, a decade of work. We could influence millions of people. And you could be part of it. You're part of the whole process, right? It starts here. It's like throwing a rock in the water, and you're the initial splash. You get all this fat off you, like Audrey here. You got all this fat off you, and she changed your life and is living the best life. And next thing you know, she's influencing her daughter, her son. She's influencing her aunt, uncle. They start living a better life. They start doing things. They start losing weight. Start elevating. Right? To me, this is all about making an impact. This is why I do this. I want to change your life. I want to help change all the people's lives around you. And if I can do that, then I feel good about myself. I feel like being here on this planet and living and doing all that hard work that I've done, then there's a reason for it. There's a purpose for it. I've had a lot of fun in my days, but at the end of my life, I'm not going to be like, you know, I wish I would have gone eaten more, or I wish I would have gone and played games more or drank more. No, I wish I would have helped more people. I wish I would have impacted the world more. I wish I would have made a bigger splash, a bigger difference. That's what's exciting to me. And then I think that I can live on through these people. This is what I imagine, right? My energy, my thoughts, my beliefs, my change lives on through these people, and hopefully it continues. My energy will continue to live on through these individuals in perpetuity. It's the hopes, right? I don't know. I'm a philosopher. Just sharing myself with you guys. But I appreciate each one of you for jumping on today. Let's see, a quick question. Winks by Vegas, the cost for the consultation. So it's free for the quick quote. You can go to our website, click right on the front page. There's a quick quote. You can get the free quote. And when you're ready, you're serious, every patient needs to get a paid consultation. It's $100 as part of the process. You're going to meet with me directly. And once you have that paid consultation, you're going to get everything will be confirmed as far as the pricing that you got on the quick quote, and then we can go ahead and move forward and get you scheduled. Let's see, Valdez girl, you're asking how much we charge per area of lipo, and that's an old model. We don't do that anymore. So you got to go to our quick quote system. You can get the pricing from that. It's not per area anymore, so that's totally obsolete. And 80 : the price range, go to the quick quote. I don't need to tell you price range. Just go to the quick quote. The answers are all right there. All the pricing stuff is all right there. You can get your quote, like an accurate quote. So you don't even need a range. You get an accurate quote, but you have to fit within our system. And so I break things down a certain way so you can get an idea of what the cost is going to be. Then you're serious, you want to move forward, the next step is that paid consultation. So thank you so much for watching. Make sure you get those quick quotes so you can get your pricing. And then when you're ready, let's do the paid consultation to get you moving forward, ready to change your life. Stop hiding. Okay? It's time to change. It's time to be who you're supposed to be. It's time to live your best life. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll be back next week.